Her family said my son looks just like her ex, so I asked for a paternity test. My wife 30F and I 32M have been married for 4 years, together for 5. We have a 2-year-old son, Leo, and he is my entire world. I never thought I could love anything or anyone the way I love that little boy. I'm a completely hands-on dad. I do the night feedings, I change the diapers, I taught him how to kick a ball. I thought we were the perfect family. This past weekend, we were at a big family barbecue at my in-laws' house. Everyone was having a good time, and my wife's uncle, who'd had a few too many beers, was looking at Leo playing in the yard. He laughed and said, loud enough for half the party to hear, "It's just crazy how much that little guy looks exactly like Michael." For context, Michael is my wife's high school ex-boyfriend. They dated for a long time and broke up about 6 months before she and I started seeing each other. The moment he said it, the air went out of the party. My mother-in-law shot him a death glare and hissed, "Dave!" But the damage was done. I saw my wife's sister and a cousin kind of nod in agreement before quickly looking away. My wife just forced a laugh and changed the subject, but I felt a cold pit form in my stomach. The rest of the day was a blur. Later that night, after we put Leo to bed, I brought it up with my wife. I was calm. I said, "Hey, what your uncle said today really bothered me. I can't get it out of my head." She immediately got defensive. "He's a drunk idiot, you can't listen to him. I can't believe you're even bringing this up." I told her it wasn't just him. I saw other people agree. I said, "Look, I know this is crazy, but for my own peace of mind, to just shut this feeling down forever, let's do a paternity test. We'll do it. It'll come back as mine. And we'll never have to speak of this again." She absolutely exploded. She started screaming at me, saying I was accusing her of cheating, that I was disgustingly insecure, and that I was trying to destroy our family over a stupid drunken comment. She was crying, saying she couldn't believe the man she married would ever think something so vile about her. I held my ground and said that her reaction was making me feel worse. If there's nothing to hide, why not just do the test to make me feel secure? That's when she delivered the line that has been replaying in my head ever since. She looked at me with tears in her eyes and said, "The fact that you're even asking proves you never really loved Leo as your son in the first place." She's now sleeping in the guest room and won't speak to me. She told me I've broken her trust in a way that can never be repaired. My head is spinning. I feel like I'm going insane. Her refusal feels like a massive red flag, but I also feel like a monster for even asking. Am I the asshole? Update. First, thank you. I don't know what I would have done without the thousands of comments and DMs. The overwhelming consensus that her reaction was a massive red flag gave me the strength to see this through, even when I felt like a monster. For everyone who told me to get a lawyer and a secret DNA test, I listened. I ordered a home paternity test kit online. That night, while my wife was asleep in the guest room, I tiptoed into Leo's room. Swabbing the inside of his cheek while he slept was one of the hardest things I've ever done. He looked so peaceful, and I felt like a complete traitor. I sealed the sample and sent it off the next day. The wait was the worst week of my life. The email with the results came yesterday. I opened it with my hands shaking so badly I could barely click the mouse. Probability of paternity, 0%. I think I stopped breathing. It wasn't just a number on a screen, it was the sound of my entire world collapsing. Every memory, every late night, every time I looked at him and saw a piece of myself, it was all a fantasy. The boy I love more than life itself is not mine. I didn't explode. I didn't yell. I went completely cold. I printed the results, walked into the guest room where she was watching TV, and dropped the papers on her lap without a word. The color drained from her face. The fake indignation, the righteous anger, it all vanished. She just stared at the paper and started sobbing, saying, "I'm so sorry, and I was going to tell you." And then the full ugly truth came out. About 2.5 years ago, when we had been married for 2 years, she ran into her ex, Michael, while on a girls' weekend trip. They had drinks, one thing led to another, and she cheated on me. She said it was a stupid mistake, and she came home determined to forget it ever happened. But a few weeks later, she found out she was pregnant. Panicked, she called Michael to tell him. His reaction? He laughed. He told her she wasn't even the only one. Another one of his flings from around that same time had just told him she was pregnant too. He told my wife he wanted no part of either of their dramas, blocked her number, and that was it. She was alone with her mistake. She knew the baby's father was a deadbeat who wanted nothing to do with him. And then she looked at me, her loving, stable husband who desperately wanted to be a father. So she made a choice. She never told me about the affair and let me believe Leo was mine. In her own soul-crushing confession, she said, "I made a horrible mistake, but I knew you were the right choice to be a father. I chose the better man to raise him." She didn't just lie. She committed the ultimate betrayal, and then, instead of confessing, she used my love for her and my desire for a family as the cleanup crew for her mess. She trapped me. It gets worse. I called my mother-in-law, the one who shushed the uncle at the barbecue. I told her I knew. There was a long pause, and then she sighed and said, "We just wanted her to be happy and stable. We never thought you'd find out." They all knew. The whole family covered for her affair, watching me pour my heart, my soul, and my money into a child they knew was a product of her infidelity. I packed a bag and left. I'm staying with a friend. I've already had a consultation with the best divorce lawyer I could find. My wife has been blowing up my phone, not with apologies, but with threats. She's now claiming I'm abandoning a child and is demanding full custody, alimony, and child support for a son that isn't mine. My life as I knew it is over. I'm not just mourning my marriage, I'm mourning the son I thought I had. Thank you for opening my eyes. Now the war begins. Update 2. I don't even know where to begin. The last few weeks have been a descent into a special kind of hell I didn't know existed. The war I mentioned in my last post is here, and it's uglier than I could have ever imagined. First, the legal front. My lawyer confirmed my worst fears. He introduced me to a lovely little concept called paternity by estoppel. In our state, because I acted as Leo's father for 2 years, loving him, supporting him, putting my name on the birth certificate, the court might view me as the presumptive father. The DNA test proves I'm not the biological father, but it might not be enough to sever my financial obligations. My wife's lawyer is arguing that removing me from Leo's life would be detrimental to the child, and therefore I should continue to pay child support for her son from her affair. Let that sink in. But that's not even the worst part. My wife has decided to take her lies public. She created a public Instagram account. She wrote a long, tear-soaked post about being a survivor of narcissistic abuse. She doesn't use my name, but it's obviously about me. She describes how her oppressive partner became unstable and paranoid, how he made a cruel and baseless demand that traumatized her and her child. She claims she had to flee for their safety, and then she launched the GoFundMe. The title is, "Help a Mom and Son Escape Abuse and Start Over." The description is a masterpiece of manipulative fiction. She paints herself as a devoted mother whose world was shattered when her abusive ex tried to disown his own child in a fit of rage. She says she needs funds for a new apartment, legal fees to protect her son, and therapy for the trauma I supposedly inflicted on them. She's using a picture of herself looking sad while holding a smiling Leo. My son. The son I love. She is monetizing her affair. She is crowdfunding her betrayal. The comments are a nightmare. Hundreds of strangers are calling me a monster, a deadbeat, a gaslighter. Women are sharing their own stories and hailing her as brave. Her entire family, the same ones who knew the truth, are sharing the link on their Facebook pages. Her mother commented, "So proud of my strong, courageous daughter for speaking her truth." Then I got a notification that she had drained our joint savings account. The $15,000 we had saved. It's all gone. My lawyer says we'll fight to get it back, but it could take months. I'm being erased and rewritten as a villain in my own life story, all because I discovered her lie. She didn't just cheat and deceive me. She is now trying to systematically destroy my reputation and my finances while playing the ultimate victim. People have asked what I'm going to do. I'll tell you. My lawyer and I are preparing a full-scale counteroffensive. We are subpoenaing her phone records, bank statements, and we are preparing to depose Michael, the biological father. I have the DNA results. I have screenshots of everything. She thinks because she controls the public narrative, she's won. She's about to learn what happens when you try to burn down the life of a man who has absolutely nothing left to lose. This isn't about money anymore. It's about the truth. And I will scorch the earth to make sure it comes out. Final update. She won. This will be my last post. The court case is over. The depositions, the phone records, the DNA test. None of it mattered as much as I thought it would. My lawyer was right. Paternity by estoppel is real. The judge, a woman who looked at me with what I can only describe as disdain, delivered the verdict. She said that while the DNA evidence was unfortunate, I had presented myself as Leo's father for 2 years. She ruled that removing my financial support would be a punishment to the innocent child for the sins of the adults. I have been ordered to pay child support until Leo is 18. Because of the narrative she spun about economic abuse, and because I was the primary earner, she was also awarded 2 years of rehabilitative alimony so she can get back on her feet. Her GoFundMe raised over $30,000. She kept the $15,000 from our savings. She now has a new apartment, a legion of online supporters, and a steady, court-ordered income from me. I showed the court the proof of her affair, the lies, the coordinated deception from her family. The judge called it marital misconduct, but ultimately deemed it secondary to the financial stability of the child. I lost on every front, legally, financially, socially. My name is mud in my community. Friends I thought were my friends have faded away, not wanting to be involved in the drama. She successfully painted me as an unstable man who tried to abandon his son. The most painful part is that I still love that little boy. I see his picture on her social media and my heart breaks. I love a child who isn't mine, who I can't see, but who I am forced to pay for as a permanent monument to my wife's betrayal. I am a ghost in my own life, a wallet with a name. She took everything from me. My past was a lie, my present is a nightmare, and my future is just a long series of payments for another man's son. She won. The lie won. Thank you to everyone who supported me. It meant something, it truly did. But it wasn't enough.
2 months later, a new post from the same account. Subject, in memory of a good man. This is his brother. I'm logging into his account one last time, because the people on this forum were the only ones who truly saw his pain and believed him. It is with the heaviest heart that I have to announce that my brother laid to rest 3 weeks ago. The court ruling broke him. He wasn't the same man afterward. The fight just went out of him. He felt like the world had certified him as a failure and a fool, and he couldn't see a way out from under the weight of the injustice. He left a note. He said he was sorry, but he couldn't bear to live a life where his only purpose was to fund the happiness of the people who destroyed him. The final insult? My family had to pay for his funeral. Meanwhile, his ex-wife is posting photos of her and Leo on a vacation in Hawaii, likely paid for with the GoFundMe money and the first of his alimony checks. The child support is now being paid out from his life insurance policy. Even in death, he is still paying for her lie. We tried to get him help, but he said that no amount of therapy could change the court's decree or the public's perception of him. He fought, but the lie was bigger than the truth. Thank you all for being his allies in his darkest time. Please remember him as the loving father he was, not the monster she made him out to be. Rest in peace, brother. You are free now.